This video is like a long-term update to the Bunkerkings control hopper, or CTRL. There's been lots of problems about it on the internet. It is a first generation hopper, it's relatively new. Spire drivetrain, so it shouldn't have had any big problems with the Spire. Different shell, different locking mechanism for the, I guess, the drive tray. So things like that were going to be the issues. So right off the bat, people found out that the speed feed sucked on this thing. Now the fingers are pretty good. Paint goes in there easy, holds paint, and the problem is if it's not latched backwards all the way, you drop it just even a touch, speed feed pops open. It's incredible. You can just bang it most of the time, it would pop open. Not good at all. So what was the fix for it? To take this thing and to slide it back just a little bit. And that latched it in and prevented it from popping open. Even from just like a foot drop or whatever, Bunkerkings came out with an updated lid for this thing, so you can get a new upper shell that's gonna fix the problem. I have not done that. You have to pay for it. I don't really like the fact you have to pay for it. For me, knowing the fact you just pull the damn thing back and it works, I'm gonna roll with that. Now, I did experience a problem I have not seen anybody else complain about yet, and that is with the frickin' batteries in this thing. So let's go ahead and open it up, take a peek. Upper shell, speed feed. You can still see some of the mud on it from the tournament. A little wet out there. And it's magnetic tray, so it just lifts right out right here. And it looks like we actually got some water in there, which is interesting. I have not pulled it apart since the tournament. I'll have to go clean it up a little bit. But the big problem I had initially was one day we were out practicing and it stopped firing. So my LV1, nothing's feeding. It looked like everything was illuminated. I hit the hopper, and guess what? Started working again until a little bit later, did the same shit. Went on like that for the rest of the practice. I think it happened maybe 5-6 times. Get home, take a look at it, and before the tournament, went to go put new batteries and check the batteries and everything, and I pulled it apart and I saw that the middle battery was actually sitting up like this, so it's elevated from the contact. Now the foam, or the felt tape strips right here, the Velcro, that right there was as tight as it could be. I went back and I tightened it again as much as you could, and guess what? It still can come up. So for me, that's a bad design because the batteries are facing down. You got gravity, take a jump, take a dive, whatever, it might come out a little bit, break contact. So before the tournament, I shoved a Q-tip in there that I'd used to clean the marker, not my ears, and that prevented the battery from coming out. So, not a permanent solution. So, when I bought this thing, I had intended to get the nCharge for it, but it was not available at the time. There were none on Amazon. There were none still on the website when I looked, but I managed to snag this off Amazon. I think it was one of 2 left from one of the vendors on there. This is the fix for me, and this guy will work for a couple different hoppers in there too. I think it works for the Rotor or the R2. Anything that's basically a 3AA battery, and it's got a PCB connection where you can plug it in. If you guys have any other problems with your control hopper, I'm curious to see. I know some of the fitment on the upper shell, not the best, that's why they came out with a new one. And if you're trying to reassemble it in a hurry, you might not get it fully seated in the grooves along the sides. And if that's the case, you take a big hit and it's not latched in here, you might lose your lid if it's not 100% on there. Because if you're off track here, you might not fully get it latched. Alright guys, so if you guys have any problems with the control hopper, post them up in the comments. I'm curious to see what your guys' experience are. I know big problems with upper shell, you can get a new one replaced for 40 bucks. You can get the nCharge, fix any of the problems with that, not replace batteries. I haven't seen anybody else complain about the AA battery problem yet, but I experienced it and they were tight on there. I'll see you guys soon.